Previously on Experiment P16's Florida 2018 trip.
Oh, sure, Sam. We always do things with dignity.
Hey, Kermit. The all-chicken chorus is ready for their big number. The clock curve round the world. Hit it, girls!
Oh, Kermit! What part will Warren be playing in today's performance? Well, Piggy, this is a story about the founding fathers. There's no part for you. No part for moi? Oh, we'll see about that.
And the highly quotable Benjamin Franklin.
Ben Franklin here. A penny saved is a penny earned. And if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving is definitely not the sport for you.
Well, let's hear it for your founding fathers.
The delegates are discussing the question of America's independence from England, and there is much debate.
Hey, that's you guys.
Right, debate.
Debate.
Point of view.
Opinion.
Says you.
Argument. Piggy, women aren't kings, they're queens. Fine. All hail Queen Georgette.
I protest! This is not historically accurate. The king was not at the Congress.
You got a bear playing Ben Franklin. And doing a great job at it. Let's hear it for the bear.
Go Fozzie. Go Fozzie. Go Fozzie. Go Fozzie.
Stop that,
Fozzie.
Guys,
Go
can we
Fozzie.
continue,
Go
please?
Fozzie.
No.
Sorry.
Go Fozzie.
King George, Queen Georgette, you are not a good ruler. Which means the king, or the queen, loses. Excuse me?
We go inside.
It is I, Georgette Washington, and I cannot tell a lie. I look fabulous.
This is a travesty.
Nice outfit.
Enough of this nonsense. Can we please move on?
Sure, Sam. Now we need someone to write the declaration.
We need someone with the brains. Someone with the wit.
Someone with a pen?
Sheesh. Okay, I, Thomas Jefferson, will write the declaration. Sam, why are you crying? I thought that was pretty good.
It wasn't good. It was glorious.
Yeah! Hello, everyone.
Hey, Sam. I guess now you're the town crier.
Just ring the bell.
Let freedom ring!
Great moments in history, the 4th day of July. Great moments in history, we said King George goodbye.
And you will take away all your...
But just the American part.
Thanks, everyone. We couldn't have done it without you. And England, no hard feelings. You're still one of our best friends.
Thank you all for joining us today. You know, I'm feeling especially patriotic. I'm going to visit the Hall of Presidents.
I have bought seats.
Of course you do. Come along, everyone.
See you inside. I know you're all going in.
So long, everybody.
This program is dedicated to the memory of Walt Disney. In 1971, his love for America inspired the creation of the Hall of Presidents, a place to celebrate the optimism and goodwill he saw at the heart of the American story. Walt's vision was to honor the nation by honoring the American presidency.
It is 1783, and the smoke is clearing in the wake of the Revolutionary War. Over the course of 8 grinding years, General George Washington has led a force of shopkeepers, farmers, and Native American allies to victory over the greatest military power in the world. A new nation has been born, independent and free. The founders must form a national government. In 1787, through months of passionate debate, they create a written constitution. For the country's highest office, they imagine something new in the history of the world. A leader not born to power like a king or queen. A leader who has not seized power through conquest. A leader not separate from the people, but elected by the people, from among the people. We, the people. This is a new idea, an American idea. The idea of a president. The people don't know exactly what a president will be, but there is little doubt who it will be. George Washington's stature and bearing have marked him as a leader. His integrity has made him a great one. Washington knows that many generals who have led successful revolutions make themselves dictators or kings. Instead, he steps down from power and retires to his home, Mount Vernon. The world takes note, and George Washington becomes the symbol of American ideals. In the first presidential election, it's Washington by a landslide. The only doubt seems to be his own. He writes, "Integrity and firmness is all I can promise. Integrity and firmness is exactly what we need." Everything he does as president will set a model for his successors. His final act may be the most important of all. After 2 terms, with no term limit in the Constitution and amid overwhelming support to stay in office, he steps down once again and hands power back to the people. He wants us to speak, to elect a new president. During the early years of the Republic, we choose leaders as different as Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Andrew Jackson. Elections are often bitter. Each president stands at that fiery intersection where personal character meets the challenges of the times. Some call the presidency a glorious burden. Jefferson calls it a splendid misery. We, the people, must choose well. We elect 15 presidents before the course of history brings us to the edge of a crisis like no other. A nation born of freedom still permits slavery. As the country pushes west, will new states be slave or free? The question produces bitter conflict. The issue rocks the election of 1860 and brings Abraham Lincoln onto the national stage. The tall, lanky, some say uncouth candidate from Illinois is a master of words at a time when speeches are printed in full for people to read. A house divided against itself cannot stand, he has said. With Lincoln's election, the House does indeed divide. Civil War. 11 states secede from the Union. The war becomes a defining passage in the American story. The president's own inner strength and depth of character changed the course of history. Lincoln had come up the hard way on the American frontier, desperately poor, with less than a year of formal schooling. His early years were scarred by tragedy, the death of his mother, his sister, his first love. He struggles with depression, but never loses his determination to rise above it. He once said he's driven by a desire to leave the world a little better place for having lived in it. The war rages. Lincoln fights to preserve the Union and end slavery, neither is a sure thing. At Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 6 months after one of the bloodiest battles of the war
on this continent, a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Presidents of the United States of America. George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe, John Quincy Adams, Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, William Henry Harrison, John Tyler, James K. Polk, Zachary Taylor, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Johnson, Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, James A. Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Grover Cleveland, Benjamin Harrison, William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren G. Harding, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, Richard M. Nixon, Gerald R. Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and now we come to the present. Once again, we place our trust in the idea of a president, as we have from the beginning.
My fellow citizens, no event could have filled me with greater anxieties than that notification on the 14th day of April, 1789, that you had selected me to lead our nation. But it was with the confidence of my fellow citizens that I took an oath. 35 simple words that have been repeated by every American president throughout history.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. From the beginning, America has been a nation defined by its people. At our founding, it was the American people who rose up to defend our freedoms and win our independence. It is why our founders began our great Constitution with three very simple words: we the people. Since that moment, each generation of Americans has taken its place in the defense of our freedom, our flag, and our nation under God. These are the achievements of the American spirit, the spirit of a people who fought and died to bring the blessings of liberty to all our people. Above all, to be American is to be an optimist, to believe that we can always do better, and that the best days of our great nation are still ahead of us. It's a privilege to serve as the President of the United States, to stand here among so many great leaders of our past, and to work on behalf of the American people.
Everybody. All right, perfect. All right, friends, we need three things before we can see our friend Tinkerbell. We need faith, trust, and pixie dust. I knew you would know the answer. Awesome. Well, the pixie dust is showing us the way, so follow the faith letters right this way. Okay, just done. Could be wrong, but we both have one here. And her dad is an inventor. I'm a temporary inventor too. And she fixed the spell castle. So I feel like we have very similar names, right? So what is Gaston?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I think he likes me instead. I think he got me confused. Don't worry, I'm not really interested in Gaston or anything. I am a really good tinker fairy, so I was thinking we could shrink him in the pixie portal, shrink his muscles, shrink his ego, and then since I'm a tinker fairy and I fix things, I'll fix his muscles. Yeah! I think of everything! Should we put it together something? My brilliant idea! Right here? Perfect. Yeah. Be sure to
Yeah, definitely.
Forward. Yes!
Oh god, it smells like medicine.
See? What did I say? Come on.
It really does, Peter. It smells like the beverage.
Oh, you know what? That smells like sarsaparilla. It's not.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Can I try it?
Yeah, it is. It's those winter drinks.
Yeah, it is.
It's like those lifesavers. Once you get past that initial kick. Yeah?
That is actually amazing.
Let Taylor have a taste.
I love winter green though.
Yeah.
I actually like the smell of that.
You having a taste?
Oh, sorry. Why even is it? You just missed it.
Yep,
That's disgusting.
like mother, like son.